So you're thinking about buying Mizuno's new JPX Hot Metal 925 line. Is that the club for you? Let's find out.
This is a good one, right? This is their most popular club they sell. They sell lots of them available in right-handed, left-handed. Keep in mind too, another important thing is, these are also available in lighter weight heads. So they have B-weighted heads. So if you need longer shafts and stuff, which not all clubs are, that's also another thing. So this is a broad range of people this fits into.
Yeah, and this is a great one to talk tech on because JPX line is their technology line. This is not their pro line. It's nothing to do with their real players. You won't see this on tour very often, if ever.
Yep.
This is really aimed at your average golfer that's out there. So they've done a few things this year. They've added tungsten in 4-iron to 7-iron, and I think that's across the range. But we're just talking about just the standard mid version here, the hot metal.
Right.
They've got a different sole shape. They've added some thinner faces, and they've added face technology, which is obviously thinner in specific places and thicker in specific places to try and even up that ball speed.
Right.
And spin, I guess that changes too. And they've covered the back, and we know that has some effects on acoustic and feel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sound is a big part of what feel is, right? And actually, we're going to probably end up adding some microphones to our robot here so we can hear the different sounds, and obviously we're going to hit them ourselves, and kind of that's a feel thing as well going forward. But this is a great looking golf club. It looks expensive. The medallion in the back is all clean looking. You're right. The sole's wider a little bit, but it's scalped off of the back nicely.
Yeah.
It's just a good shape, right? If you look at the club, it's not super big or small. It's got a little bit of offset. Just a good club all around.
Yeah, and this is the one that sits in the middle of this line.
Right.
It's 28 degrees for a 7-iron, so it's fairly strong lofted.
Yep.
And that's half a degree stronger than the 923, so 2 years prior model. It just run out into this model.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, and I really like this, it's actually a couple yards shorter than the old version. I love companies that do that stuff.
Yeah.
And actually the loft's a little stronger, like you said, but they actually launch higher and spin more,
That's
which
interesting.
is pretty big.
So let's start with the graphs, and we can see here that they've got that good left to right, and I kind of think that almost everyone's figured that out now. You don't see these
you've seen a lot of that. We're not
buckshot.
seeing, even a couple of years ago when we started doing this, you would see kind of, a little bit here and there, and they're pretty lined up, which is really what you want for this kind of players club.
And heel to toe mishits across the center of the face in terms of vertical center, very good. We know that if you're missing heel, toe, or center, you've got them all landing in the same place. So that's really
low heels even on the green, right? And that's a really hard spot. And sometimes, we don't even look at that sometimes in the numbers because it's so bad.
Yeah.
But it's really pretty good pretty much anywhere you hit it.
And we the robot can only do so much with forgiveness, and when we try and add our our experience.
Yeah, there's more to the forgiveness than just the robot, right? The turf interaction, the white sole helps quite a bit. That's really important.
Leading edge there as well.
Yeah, leading edge is a little scalped off too. All that stuff helps.
Yeah. And offset obviously helps a little bit, and they've got both options for that in top and bottom of the range with this too, and we'll get into them later. I like one thing on the design package is that with the decals on the back, last year's model, it was actually kind of tough to tell which was which because they all kind of look really clean on the back. This year they've done some color coding, so we've got the white badge in the back here and then blue and black in the other two models, so you can easily see which one's which.
Oh, that helps. Easier to pick out of the demo rack, right?
Yeah. And we've got some great numbers here that are comparisons across the range, but let's just hone in on the hot metal, the standard version, so you can say the half a degree loft decrease, and they'll let you go forward.
And it lost a couple yards, which, like I said, I'm totally good with. It actually launched, almost a degree higher, a little over a half, which is quite a bit, and spun quite a bit more. The overall rating we got here is pretty much the same, 4.5. It's actually a little higher, but we're rounding. So definitely improvement there. And the torque forgiving rating for this kind of club is pretty good too. Stopping power jumped a bunch though. That's the big thing. And obviously if you really have issues with that, then you're going to go to the HL, which we'll talk about later. But that's really important to people. Especially if you play hard greens and fast greens and stuff, and you're not a super skilled player or a lot of speed. Stopping the ball is important.
Right. So this is the second brand that we've seen this year already that have gone in and said, all right, let's trade off 3 or 4 yards for great stopping power.
Yeah, smaller circle and better stopping power. I love that, right? So, for a long time we've been jacking lofts, and one of the things our fitters mention all the time is, we really don't like 2 gap wedges. We're getting to this point. Sometimes you even think, well, we probably could have 3 gap wedges, and that's just too many clubs. And, I just hate playing the game of just jacking things up. That happened a million years ago, and But now with the technology and stuff, you know, I love the fact it goes a little shorter, but everything's tighter and it launches higher. It's great.
Yeah. Well, in this range, this is definitely something to think about. We've got 3 options here, just in JPX alone. If forgetting the Pro models, you can probably pigeonhole yourself to either Pro or JPX, but you still need to look into the JPX range to find out which one's right for you.
Absolutely. There's, you know, some different things here. You could potentially even blend the Pro version with this, you know. You know, obviously he's got a little more offset if you know, pretty decent player, but you struggle with the long irons, leave them right a little bit, or need a little more help drawing those long irons or getting them higher, then, you know, you could mix them.
Well, tune in again. We have the review of the 925 Hot Metal Pro coming up to see if you can blend them together. Be sure not to miss that. Make sure you head to Worldwide Golf or a cool clubs near you and get fit for your product.